Hey everyone, it's Colin with Legalized Mystery Productions. Thank you for joining me and welcome. And today I'm going to be going over masking and a couple different ways to do masking when we're going to be painting other elements of the model, but we want to protect those areas that we've already painted. And so I'm going to be using tape. I use Tamiya tape because it's the best, and but you can use painter's tape. Uh, or frog tape or something like that. I think it's worth the extra money to use Tamiya. Just low tackiness. It peels off really easy. Generally, I have very few problems with peeling paint and things like that. And then I'll also be using liquid mask. I use Mr. Masking Sol Neo from Mr. Hobby. Vallejo makes liquid mask. I mean, a million companies make liquid mask, but I prefer the Mr. Masking Sol. It works for me, and that's good enough for me. If I find a product like that that is so important to have a masking product that just works, because the last thing you want is to have something go wrong and then you're repainting and it's just a nightmare. So if you find a product that works for you, just use that product. Don't overthink it. So first things first, I'm gonna peel off. So I'm gonna use tape for the shoulder because it's a large area, and then I'm gonna use liquid mask, a combination of liquid mask and tape for the knee. And so the shoulder is a large area. What I've done is I've gloss varnished the area after I finish painting it, and what this does is it eases the surface tension on the area, so it's just easier to peel the paint off. Not paint, peel the tape off. We don't want the paint peeling off. So it's easier to peel the tape off. It doesn't stick as well to gloss varnish as it would to paint. So I gloss varnish the area that I'll be taping. And then, so I'll tear off a piece of the Tamiya tape. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to work it. When I'm working in my fingers, I'm going to get a lot of that tackiness off the back of the tape. It doesn't have to be super sticky to stick onto the model. And what this is going to do again is it's just going to lower that surface tension. So I'll just peel off kind of a section here and then just start taping off. I want to make sure that, it seems pretty straightforward, but I want to make sure that I'm covering everything that I want to, protect. This area here on the shoulder is going to be painted in metallics with a brush, so I don't have to worry about covering that or leaving it so I can paint it later. That's not a concern. So I'm just going to tape right over it. The important thing, obviously, is to protect the yellow that I've already painted. That's why we're doing the masking. So I'll get another piece of this tape, work it, work it, work it. Get that. And there are areas, on other models that maybe we'll have to do some precision masking, but again, because it's just going to be covered, it's just going to be painted metallics anyway. I don't have to worry about it because that metallic is going to cover evenly whatever area. Like there's not going to be a line. Like there will be a line after I'm done painting the gray, but I don't have to worry about it because the metallic color that I'm going to paint it is going to cover that evenly anyway. It's going to cover the gray and the yellow regardless. So nice, one less thing to worry about. And just cover that top part like so. And that's it. So we'll just go around, make sure that everything's kind of buttoned up there. Make sure that we have a good seal all the way around. And I'm not pressing real hard because, again, I don't want to just adhere this tape to the painted surface. But that's covered up. That's ready to go. We are ready to, because of the scheme I'm doing, I'm going to, redo the armor brown, and then I'll do the gray. But that's, if you want to see that, we're going to, that'll be in the second part of the Space Wolf Dreadnought tutorial. But for now, we're just doing a little masking. Now I'm just going to get a little piece of tape here. And this is a little excessive. I don't necessarily need to do, excuse me. I don't necessarily need to do a piece of tape, but I wanted to show how you can use a combination of taping. I think this piece is a little too big. No. You can use a combination of taping and liquid mask. This is especially useful for things like the panels on Custodes tanks is where I've used this the most, really. You do the tape for the majority of it, and then just around the edges, you just do the liquid mask. So coming in with the Mr. Hobby Masking Sole. And the thing that's nice about the Mr. Hobby is it comes with this, nail polish kind of applicator. And for, again, this part here is going to be metallic. I'm not really worried about that. Kind of lay it flat and kind of scrunch it back there. Go all the way around. But that lower leg panel is going to be gray. So I do care about not getting any liquid mask on that panel. And I'm just getting the sides of the tape just to make sure. Whoops. So I got some over here. That's fine. I'll just rub it off. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get just an old, really, really bad brush that is dead that I don't care about. I'm going to pick some liquid mask off of the applicator there. And I want to dab. I don't want to brush this on because it dries so fast that I'll pull. It'll stick to the liquid mask that's already dry, and it'll just pull it right off that area, and we kind of have to start again. So I don't want that. But I do want to get this underneath there. See, that's what'll happen because that was dry. I'll pull this off the brush here. And I do want that off because that is going to compromise the top of that gray. So underneath there, I don't think it's perfectly masked. Oh. So while that's wet, just very gently, there we go. Very gently, just kind of tapping it in there to just place some of that liquid mask. And then coming around the side to get this bottom corner here. Now the gray is easier to brush paint on than the yellow. So if I have to choose between, this little kind of crease right there, right here, obscuring that part that's going to be gray and getting a little gray into the yellow, I'm going to pick the gray because I'm going to pick obscuring the gray because I can just go back with a brush. I can just go back with a brush and just very lightly fill in that gray. Be a lot harder to do that with the yellow. So, I got this liquid mask on this knee over here. Not a big deal. I just use my thumb and just wipe it off. And then you can see this is already drying up here. So it gets that darker blue and gets a little transparent. And you want to put a decent coat on there. You don't want to do it super, super, super thin. Because if you put a nice thick coat on there, it's just a lot easier to pull off. If you do it super thin, it might not pull off it easy, or as easily, and then that's when you really run into trouble, because you shouldn't have to rub this off. You should just be able to pull it off. So then that's basically it. So a little bit of liquid mask, and it looks rough under there, but it's sealed. It's covering that area. It's just kind of tricky to get under there and not get on the leg, and not get under there and not get on the leg here. So, but that's why I use liquid mask. We could have used tape, but it would have taken a lot longer. So, liquid mask is great for areas where you don't need like a straight line. You don't need, precision masking on a little bit smaller area. Tape, obviously if you need a straight line or if it's a larger area, then tape's the way to go. So just a couple different ways to do masking, and hope you found it useful. If you have any questions, just leave a comment, shoot me a message, and I'll be happy to answer them. So thanks, and we'll see you again soon.